The Secrets of Stargate is brought to you by the StarQuest Production Network and is made possible by our many generous patrons. If you'd like to support the podcast, please visit sqpn.com/give.
You're listening to The Secrets of Stargate, Episode 26.
Lieutenant West, Jackson has identified the seventh symbol.
All right, here we go. We are about to try to make a connection.
All we gotta do is bust out of here, commandeer the ship, and fly on home.
Indeed. You say that a lot.
I know that this could be dangerous. But this is our job, right? It's what we signed on to do.
It was never about going home. It's about getting us to where we're going.
Hi, I'm Jack Berrezzini, and you're listening to The Secrets of Stargate, where we talk about the hidden meanings and deeper layers found in the Stargate movies, TV series, and more. And joining me today are Father Cory Stika. Hi, Father.
Howdy, Jack.
And Lisa Jones. Hi, Lisa.
Hey, Jack.
And Victor Lambs. Hey, Victor.
Hi, Jack.
Today we are discussing the 5th episode of Season 2, Need. The team arrives on a planet that is rich in naquadah. Daniel Jackson decides to white knight it and rescue the princess from leaping off a cliff. They are then seemingly captured by Jaffa soldiers. Daniel is taken away, and Sam and Jack and Teal'c are sent to the mines of Kessel, the naquadah mines, where they are forced to mine a naquadah with very primitive, very inefficient tools. Meanwhile, Daniel Jackson gets to live in some flowy robes and becomes addicted to the healing powers of the Goa'uld sarcophagus. Eventually, he and the princess are engaged to be married so he can free the rest of the team from the naquadah mines. After returning to the SGC, he has to come down off of his sarcophagus addiction, and he is able to eventually be freed from that with help from Jack. Right, yeah. This was definitely a more interesting episode than the previous weeks, I feel like.
I don't know. I had the in this very special episode of Stargate. Today we are going to discuss drug abuse and what it can do to you.
Yeah,
Stargate does train spotting.
That's it. That's exactly what I was about to say. I was hoping for the Iggy Pop song to start when the sarcophagus opened up. Here comes Daniel Jackson. But yeah, what were your thoughts on this episode, Father?
Well, it's one of those episodes. It's one of those episodes that, frankly, I pretty much summed up by saying it's this is about drug addiction and all that. But we did learn about the sarcophagus, and that's a good thing. But beyond that, this is not one of my favorites. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah. Yeah. What about you, Lisa?
Well, my 15-year-old, when we were watching it, she goes, "Oh, this is the one where Daniel Jackson does something he shouldn't do or isn't supposed to do, and then gets the rest of them in trouble, and then they all have to spend the whole episode getting out of it."
Oh, that one episode.
Isn't that the plot of half the series?
Yeah. Or we could say it's that one episode where Daniel Jackson forgets he has a wife and falls for some cute princess, and then
yeah, that was this is another I feel like tick on the whole Daniel is the conscience of the team, going against that, like how easily he just I'm living large, so you guys will be okay. Yeah. What about you, Victor?
Well, this episode is called Need, and you'll feel like you've been need after watching this one. But it was written by Robert C. Cooper, so we get a lot of really good world building in this about the what happens to people after they've had a Goa'uld in their head and don't anymore. And the story was co-written by Damian Kindler, who would go on to do, I think, almost 30 episodes across this and Stargate Atlantis. So there's a lot of good quips in this episode. Yeah, I mean, what can you say about Need, really?
I mean, it's really exciting where, for half the episode, SG-1, except for Daniel, is taking big rocks and breaking them into little rocks and taking little rocks and breaking them into even littler rocks.
They be
Really
working
exciting
in
stuff.
a gold mine, going down, 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 working in a gold mine, oop, about to slip down. Yep. We can,
Except they're not in a Goa'uld mine because the Goa'uld aren't on the planet anymore. They're not even real Jaffa.
Yes.
Yeah, they're just
That was a nice
cosplayers.
little twist, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It turns out that human beings were the monsters all along.
I like the guards. They have like an even worse applique on their forehead than Teal'c does.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they're a fake Jaffa. Yeah.
No, that was
And you could tell they weren't real Jafar
Yeah.
because they seemed to take some weird, pleasure in hurting in a kind of a sarcastic way.
Yeah.
Which I
Yeah.
thought was interesting. Because regular Jafar are usually very stoic and don't have a lot of commentary.
What do we call
Some
them?
quips.
Makfa or Jafo? I don't know. But
I like the Jaffa.
Jafo, yeah, the
Sounds
Jafo,
better,
yeah.
So I know with the Goa'uld, their whole thing is they just cannibalize technology from other species. Like they're not like a technology creating race any of themselves. But the whole thing is the sarcophagus will make you more. It just makes you more evil the more you use it, and it's like a psychological drug, which is what happens with the ruler of the planet, where he's been ruling the planet for 700 years since he defeated the Goa'uld who had taken it over, and the implication is he used to be good, but he's gotten worse and worse the more he's been using the sarcophagus to prolong his life. But they don't really make it clear. Like they've used it in the past several times to heal people when they're badly injured. Is the implication that if you're using it for its intended purpose, it's okay, or if it's never okay to use? Because the way they go
Yeah.
at the end of the episode is like you should never use the sarcophagus at all. Period.
Right.
Do what the Tok'ra do.
Yeah.
So we get the very good. This is the second episode with Tok'ra in it, and we learn that they don't use the sarcophagus. And I think the most interesting bit of world building in here is that maybe the sarcophagus is what makes the Goa'uld so evil.
Mm-hmm.
And they don't really come back to that. It becomes Goa'uld or just, evil, evil, evil. But
And
about
they
this.
did-
Oh, go ahead.
Sorry. I was going to say, they did make a distinction between the first time it was used on Daniel when he was injured,
Yeah.
and then what happened after when he was healed and then used it again. And I don't know if they ever really play with that anymore of it's okay to use when it's healing injury, but it's when you're using it as a upper, basically,
Yeah.
that it becomes more problematic.
Like icy hot.
Yeah.
Or maybe not icy hot. I don't know.
Icy hot doesn't do much.
Thinking like a Dr.
Yeah.
House with his Vicodin, but yeah.
About the sarcophagus, though, I watched this with our 8-year-old, and he has some questions. The second time Daniel goes in, Shyla takes his glasses away, and so he's like, "Wait, you can't wear glasses in a sarcophagus." And so then a couple of minutes later, he turns to me, he says, "Maybe the sarcophagus operates on light waves, and the glass in the glasses would refract the waves and damage it, or somehow make it not work." Which I thought was very interesting because we don't really understand how the sarcophagus works. And then at the end, he was very disappointed when the staff blast didn't blow it up like it did in Hathor and just kind of like, made it go all sparky.
They needed to keep that prop.
Yeah.
Yep, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So do we see the sarcophagus in the future being used by the team?
Yeah.
Okay. I wasn't sure if this was like we're just not going to use this anymore.
I don't remember if SG-1 ever uses it again, but we definitely see the Goa'uld using it over and over and over and over.
Yeah.
I think, doesn't Ball keep bringing Jack back with it or something? Yeah, later on, season 5, I think,
As a
or 6.
stalker.
Yeah.
Almost killing him and then bringing him back.
Yeah.
Yep.
How many times now has Daniel almost died?
This is like the third or fourth, I feel like.
I think this is this.
15th.
Yeah. Well, this would be the third episode that we've seen him come out of the sarcophagus.
Yeah.
Plus, then the movie
yeah.
would be the fourth. But then, how many times has he been dead or almost dead or mostly dead or partially dead or
Yeah.
That makes you wonder. He does as a character. His character goes through this, I think, more than the others.
Mhm.
Maybe I'm wrong. At least this early in the season, in the series.
Yeah.
So, did they have something against him?
I don't know. Like
I think
I don't know.
He's
Dan,
supposed to
Yeah.
be the nerd, so they
Yeah.
it's easy.
he has the O'Brien must suffer kind of thing going on.
yeah. Just like, and then they have the whole Worf thing. If you need to show how powerful somebody is, they beat up Teal'c, like on Next Generation, they would have somebody like knock Worf over the railing just to show how powerful they are.
Well, just like in this, that Jafar didn't mess with Teal'c, right? He knocked down the other two.
Oh, yeah. Pretty handy with a hammer.
Yeah.
It's like Mario there.
Teal'c just gives him the evil eye, and he's like, okay.
I'm not going to mess with you. Okay, you're good.
They also do that thing that I feel like is a pretty consistent trope in science fiction, especially like in 90s television science fiction, where you have like these mining colonies on this planet, and it'll be like, we have all this advanced technology, but we're mining like we're in like 18th century England with hammers and like the carts with the pulleys and everything. Like they do the same thing on Deep Space Nine, where they're on a space station, but they have like a chute pouring rocks down and people are hitting them with hammers. It's like, it doesn't really make sense.
It's unacceptable on Terok Nor, but here, I mean, the Goa'uld view humans as slave labor and expendable, and they wouldn't waste machinery to help humans mine. You know, they just get more humans or you know, and stuff. And so, you know, I think probably the sarcophagus is the only advanced piece of technology on the planet. But I did like how this sarcophagus had its own sarcophagus that it came out of. So I just imagine Exhibit being like, yo, dog, I heard you like sarcophagus. So I put a sarcophagus in your sarcophagus.
It had a little storage case that it went back into when it was done.
It's like when you buy an expensive phone, the first thing you do is put it in a case. You don't want to get scratches on it.
Exactly. Yeah.
Good one. Yep.
I thought Heather Hansen as Shyla was pretty good in this. You know, brings some pretty good guest star game. The cliff with heavy, you know, quotes around it. You know, she almost fell, you know, a dozen feet to her death. But, you know, they can't put their guest star, I guess, on the actual edge of a real cliff.
Yeah, or matted in, like they did that wonderful matting of the pyramid.
Yeah. It's like in the Five Doctors where Sarah Jane falls off a cliff and she's on like a slight incline, just rolling around, thrashing like she's trying to like hang on for dear life.
Yeah.
But
nice.
Okay, I noticed that when they put him in the sarcophagus, not only did his eyes heal, right? No glasses, his hair got volume and curl.
It did.
Yep. Darker too, I feel like.
And as a curly haired person, I love that because that means, you know, what they're saying, like the better you feel, the better you get, the curlier your hair gets. So I'm gonna.
Well, I figured it was the more evil you get, the curlier your hair gets.
Okay, whatever.
Yeah. You also start talking like John Travolta too. It's like, yeah.
Oh yeah, I'll get you out of here. I promise.
Yeah.
I'm working on it. Give me some time.
He was doing the someone who hasn't done drugs impression of someone on drugs thing.
Yeah, pretty much every trope is there, and I think he should have won an Emmy for this one personally.
He was hamming it up.
Maybe he did. Yeah.
I mean, if Threshold can win an Emmy, this can win an Emmy.
Oh my gosh.
Did it win an Emmy? I thought it was nominated, but anyways.
Oh, it won. It's the only Star Trek episode that's ever won an Emmy.
Oh, I thought you meant the Brent Spiner show Threshold that lasted like half a season.
Oh no, I meant the Salamander episode of Voyager.
Oh, really?
Yes.
We're watching through Voyager. And I skipped over that episode. I'm like, we're not watching this one.
You got to though.
I did love in this one where Daniel and Shyla are out walking, and isn't this the most beautiful things you've seen? It's called trees. And you know, Daniel's thinking, yeah, this looks like every other Pacific Northwest forest I've ever been in as we've been traveling.
You've seen them before on other worlds? Yes, actually, every other world.
Yeah. I actually read online that was considered an inside joke because of...
They're hanging a lantern on it, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I figured it was because, I mean, it was just so clearly, it's like, yeah, every planet has these worlds, and the Stargate is in all of them.
Yep.
Yeah.
And these specific kinds of trees.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, lots of really good kind of in jokes like that. You mentioned, Daniel's used the sarcophagus before, and Shyla's like, well, have you seen this? Have you used it before? And he's like, yeah, a couple of times too many, if you ask me. Mm-hmm. You know, a reference to how many times he's almost died and needed their sarcophagus.
Right. I like how they keep the continuity going, like with Sam's after effects from the Goa'uld.
Mm-hmm.
like they've mentioned that in the past 2 episodes, which I like that they're not. It's not one of those things where it's like, oh, this life-changing thing happens to you, and then we're just not going to talk about it again because it's episodic television. So I like how they're building that like as a character arc rather than just a one-time thing.
Well, and they build it up now where she can sense the Goa'uld, whether it is the Goa'uld in the pocket of a Jaffa or an actual Goa'uld host.
Right.
You know, where she can sense that, and they build on that as they go along too.
Yeah.
Right, because this middle of this season, we're gonna develop it a lot more when we
Nice.
meet the Tok'ra.
Yeah, and that actually I think is one of I mean, there's a lot of really good lines in this episode, but you know, where she's trying to explain this, and it's like, lately I get a weird feeling when I'm around Teal'c. And Jack goes like, hey, who doesn't?
I like how Teal'c just takes it in stride too. He's like,
Yeah.
it's fair.
Whatever. Yeah.
Whatever. Yep.
Like he's used to them making fun of him.
Yeah. I do love that scene where they bring Jack in to talk to Daniel, and he's like reclining on that throne, and he gets up, and he's just like, hey Jack, hey, just like so over the top with it.
The man who would be king.
Yes.
Yeah.
Jack says.
And not only did he get better robes, he got jewelry. He just really lived it.
Yeah, it's
It was nice.
And he gets a feast with like a feast with like 2 other people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of whom
Yeah.
was really uninterested in being there.
Yeah. Tell us the story of how you came to rule this place. I killed the Goa'uld who lived here. Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then they never named the Goa'uld, right?
No.
No, but it would have been 700 years ago. So I don't know. There's probably like a whole section of the wiki devoted to whatever Goa'uld that was.
It's probably a novel about it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I do like that they're basically paying tribute to all the Goa'uld with sending Nakoda through the Stargate every so often, and it's like a little it's like a coffee can size.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
Is that a daily thing? Is it a monthly thing? Like, they don't really elaborate on that.
Well, let me ask. So, for future episodes or seasons, we kind of get that the SGC has access to Nakoda from planets that they visited or whatever. Do y'all remember? Is this planet mentioned as one of those that they've got a treaty with and is allowing them Nakoda?
I don't recall specifically. I don't even know if the mine that they set up on the Unas planet was for Nakoda or Thorazine or whatever, the mining. Probably not Thorazine, but no, I'd have to look that up.
Yeah, I don't remember if they ever listed what planets to get them from or anything like that. Just that they get a fairly steady supply so they can use it to build their ships and everything.
Yeah, it dawned on me when we were watching this one. I was like, did we hear the name of this planet again? And I just, don't remember it.
Yeah.
Yep. So Daniel Jackson's history with women, not good.
Yep.
One was,
He's married again.
well, I mean, the first time with Hathor, it was, pretty clear,
Under
like,
the influence.
yeah. And then with this, it's, very,
Under the influence.
well, at least very manipulative.
He didn't put up much of
holding
a
your
fight, though, to be honest.
I mean, if
He
somebody's,
didn't put up a fight.
He did not put up much of a fight at all.
if somebody's holding your friends hostage and then getting you addicted to, space coffins.
Addicted to Space Coffins is a very good death metal band name.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't know what he saw in Shyla, to be honest. She comes across as very ditzy.
Yeah, but I wonder, was she really the kind of the brains behind all this?
Yeah.
Because evidently she'd been managing her father for however long and getting him to do what she wanted, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. She got Daniel to do what she wanted. I'm thinking
It's very,
this is kind of, but maybe she was a lot wilier than we give her credit for.
Yeah.
it's very unclear. Yeah. There's a whole like Jar Jar Binks is the Sith Lord vibe about her. You can't really tell because, yeah, even at the end when she shoots the sarcophagus, it's like, oh, it's okay. I've got like 5 in the back or something.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't quite get that, but yeah, she definitely was more manipulative than she seemed.
Yeah, and this
Definitely, how can I use all situations for my benefit?
So when we finally, like the resolution of the episode is Daniel kind of going roid rage on everybody, and Jack has to talk him down from shooting him. And so that's kind of where you get his after he's gone through his detox. He does not see any baby dolls crawling on the ceiling, fortunately, but still has to go through that kind of withdrawal thing that they do.
Yeah. All been there.
Sure. No.
Well, no, and even Jack even says, I know what it's like. And yeah, he did become an alcoholic after, Charlie / Tyler killed himself. So.
Right. Yeah. So they do harken back to that. But I had a point I was trying to make and I forgot what it was.
Roid rage.
Roid rage.
Yeah.
They fight.
Well, then we get that Daniel promises to help Shyla through her addiction withdrawal from.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But she said she's never used it.
I thought she said she did.
Believe her?
Well, I mean, what do dealers say, right? It's
Yeah.
Don't get high on your own supply, right?
What I was going to say was, there's been enough issues with his behavior and his conduct on the team that I would not be up for letting him back on the team.
And yet they do.
Yeah. Well, I mean, of course, but a lot of red flags there.
But he's the conscience of the team. I mean, they got to keep him on.
Wait a second. 2 episodes ago, prisoners, wasn't it because of Daniel Jackson they were sentenced to life in prison on the planet?
Oh, because he wanted to save
help the dude that was running.
Yeah.
Remember?
Oh yeah.
And then what happened in this episode? He went to help the girl and they're sentenced to life in prison in a mine.
Yeah, and if he hadn't tried to help the caveman lady. Oh no, he was the one who didn't want to help the caveman lady.
It's a flip. It's a flip.
Oh my
like
gosh.
It used to be.
Whoa. Twist.
I'm getting the impression that no matter what he does, they get in trouble.
It's all Daniel's fault.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's just bad luck.
Bad luck.
He's
Daniel.
a jinx.
Well, I mean, look what happened to Charest. Like everyone associated with him, like gets into bad situations. His parents.
Oh.
Yeah.
He's an unlucky guy.
I thought it was Jake.
No, well, yeah, Jake's pulling the strings or not in that case. But yeah.
It all goes
So
back to
now
Jake.
that we blame Daniel Jackson for all the problems in Stargate,
Yeah.
he's actually the Sith Lord.
Yes, he is. Well, he does basically ascend, and we don't know if that's because he's good or not.
And Jack does say that he's gone to the dark side in this episode.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Wow, that was a crossover.
Yeah.
I feel like we need to get our pegboard out with all the string.
Yeah.
So they basically said that the sarcophagus steals your soul. Well, if Daniel Jackson doesn't actually have a soul, or if it's a dark soul, then did it actually steal it?
Yeah. I don't know. It's it did a lot of other really awful things to him. Like when Dr. Fraser was listing off like everything that's wrong with his body, it was like, well, so pretty much everything then.
Yeah, she says every single cell in his body has forgotten how to function. And I'm like, that sounds really bad. I'm not a doctor.
Yeah.
But...
Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's when you just turn into like liquid or something.
Yeah.
But
oh, wait, that happens in an episode.
Oh, that's
come up
right.
with you.
Oh, nice.
Which
Not
one?
Daniel Jackson, though. I don't know. Season 7, maybe?
Oh, who turns into liquid? I remember that one.
People that Nearty is testing.
Oh yeah, season 6. Yeah. Yeah, the Jonas Quinn episode. Yeah, it's a Jonas Quinn episode. So yeah. Yeah, with the Horcrux or the whatever it's called. Not the Horcrux,
I don't
but
know.
yeah.
They all turn to liquid.
Like the guy in X-Men.
Oh yeah, and X-Men.
The first movie.
Whatever. It was the first one. Yeah.
And of course, there was a Voyager episode like that too.
Oh
yeah.
Yeah. So lots of good touch points to other better popular culture things in this episode. No, I like this episode a lot. I really like Daniel Jackson's Earth, Wind, and Fire outfit in this. Again, like that was awesome. How he gets set up in that. And Sam, even though she doesn't have a lot to do, gets off some really good line deliveries. Like when Daniel comes in and tells him about the feast, just the look on her face when she says like, "You get dinner," like
yeah,
really good. And then there's a lot of ways they could have done the reveal with like the Tok'ra memories, but just having her wake up and say, we don't use the sarcophagus was I think a pretty effective way of introducing that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I liked how that all
don't
worked.
complain about this episode. We could go back season 1 and do Fire and Water again.
Yeah. So,
this was a great episode. No,
yeah. No,
on a curve here.
again, yeah, it's good. It sets up some good myth building, and it's very of the time. It was the 90s. Every show had to do, as you said, Father Cory, a very special episode. Buffy did it with the people who got addicted to letting vampires feed on them, and I think Buffy
at least
probably
210 did it.
Yeah.
At least they didn't do it like the 80s where they always had one of the characters come out and give a little stirring speech at the end about if you need help, call,
Oh, yeah. In this episode, Daniel Jackson was able to beat his sarcophagus addiction with the help of his friends. If you don't have any friends, though, please call 1-800. Yeah.
So you remember
sarcophagus.
the Jim Henson's Dinosaurs? They had one of those episodes, and they even mocked that little closing scene. Don't do drugs, so we don't have to do episodes like this again.
Yeah. And William Sessions doesn't have to put his title screen in front of every arcade game,
Yeah.
Only 80s and 90s kids will understand.
That one got replaced with the "Don't pirate this software."
Yeah, yeah.
And it works just as well.
I will say, in my younger days, it was always fun to acquire a DVD or acquire a movie through certain means and then have that clip still at the beginning.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I copied that floppy.
Yo ho ho.
I'll cop to that. Yeah.
Awesome. Did y'all have any other thoughts on this episode?
Nothing here.
Yeah, I enjoyed it overall. I feel like the myth building kind of was more interesting than the actual plot, but it was nice to get all those connections, like you said, Victor.
Yeah. I just wish they would have bought Shyla a second dress. I mean, they do a lot with the, the wrap and stuff that she wears, but,
She had two.
Did she have a second dress?
She had a white one and a pink one.
She had like the Spice Girls thing for dinner, and then she had the other one.
Oh, I was watching a VidAngel and it took all that out. I'm just Good night, everybody.
Note.
Ah, man, that was good. We are not sponsored by a VidAngel, but it is a very good service.
Yes, and their dry bar comedy specials are actually getting better.
They're really quite funny, actually. Some of them.
Yeah, they've come a long way.
Nice.
Maybe we should watch a Stargate episode through VidAngel if they do it, and then you could talk about what they.
That's a lot of fun. Is you actually just go on VidAngel for something and then look at look at all the different filters and just see what's caught in it and stuff. It's I think we like the old Rankin and Bass Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. I think had like something like 22 filters in it that you could turn on and.
Wow.
Yeah.
Interesting. I do find it funny that they have a Game of Thrones filters for it. I imagine it just kind of just skips through every episode and you finish the show.
You watch the entire season in like 10 minutes.
Yeah. I don't drink alcohol, but just vodka or something is at that point, Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Nice. All right. On that note, before we go, we'd like to take a moment to thank our patrons who make it possible for us to create the Secrets of Stargate, including Susan S., Jonah M., Jocelyn T., Jonathan L., and Teresa S. Their generous donations at sqpn.com/give make it possible for us to continue the Secrets of Stargate and all the other shows at StarQuest. You can join them by visiting sqpn.com/give, and be sure to follow us in Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Stitcher, TuneIn, Spotify, iHeartRadio, or on the SQPN YouTube channel. To find previous episodes of Secrets of Stargate and to send feedback, please visit sqpn.com/Stargate. You can email us at stargate@sqpn.com or follow StarQuest on social media at facebook.com/StarQuestMedia or on Twitter at SQPN. You can also join the StarQuest fan club mailing list by texting StarQuest to 66866. send StarQuest to 66866. We'll be back next time when we'll be discussing the next episode of SG-1, Thor's Chariot. Until then, Father Cory, thank you for joining me and sharing the secrets of Stargate.
Thank you, Jack.
Lisa Jones, thank you as well.
Thanks, Jack.
And Victor Lambs, thank you too.
Yeah. Thanks, Jack.
And once again, I'm Jack Barazzini. Thank you for listening to The Secrets of Stargate on StarQuest.
Anyway, I'm sorry, but that just happens to be how I feel about it. What do you think?